Hello everyone who is interested in growing citrus fruits. Israel's climate is well suited for citrus fruits, and I grow several different types of citrus in my garden, but not always successfully. So I planted this tree about 5 years ago. This is well-known Israeli variety of clementine, or rather mandarin, called Or. Today, the tree is more than 4 meters high and has a fairly thick trunk, but doesn't bear fruit. It has been blooming beautifully for several years, but then the flowers and ovary fall off. Many gardening manuals explain the situation as lack of water. Therefore, last spring I significantly increased watering, but didn't get any results. In the summer, after abundant flowering, only 2 clementine fruits remained. But the next to the clementine, I have an orange tree growing and bearing fruit, which I planted at the same time as the clementine. This year it gave a bountiful harvest, and now you see only its remains, because most of the fruits have already been picked and eaten by children. Interestingly, that is the first bountiful harvest on this orange tree. Before that, like clementine, it bloomed profusely and didn't bear fruit. What is the reason for this sudden abundance? Let's look at the tree trunk. It can be seen that it's wrapped in electrical tape at the bottom. I'll cut it open and remove it to see what it's hiding. Now the layer of brown plasticine is visible. I covered the wound that appeared a year and a half ago with it. I was mowing the grass next to a tree with a trimmer and accidentally cut the trunk. The trimmer tore off a fairly large area of bark on the trunk right down to the wood. I covered the damage with plasticine mixed with fungicide. Fortunately, the damage has healed, but the mark of the bark is still visible. But the main thing is that after this, the tree began to bear fruit abundantly. By the way, in one of my videos I showed the successful result of surgical operation on a fig tree. These techniques were actively used in the old days, but are now almost forgotten. Now let's get back to my tall clementine. I'm hoping to get it to bear fruit with a little surgery. It is now mid-February 2024. I can already see young shoots, which means active subflower has already begun. This means that the bark will separate well on the trunk. I chose a flat place for the operation on the trunk, not far from the soil. With a sharp knife, I make a horizontal cut in the bark about half the circumference of the trunk. It is not recommended to make a longer cut so as not to harm the tree. The bark must be cut through with pressure and the weight of the wood. I then make a parallel second cut in the bark 7 or 8 mm below the first. Now I make vertical cuts on the left and right. Then I can remove a strip of bark. The bark, as I expected, comes off easily. Done. I have a strip of bark in my hands. Bare wood is visible on the trunk. It is not recommended to remove a strip of bark more than 8 mm wide. It will be difficult for the tree to heal such a wound. Then you need to carefully scrape off the cambium layer from the wood so that the wound doesn't heal too quickly. Done. Now the movement of organic substances formed as a result of photosynthesis down the bark will be difficult. A significant part of them will not go down to the roots, but will remain in the crown of the tree, contributing to the formation of ovaries and fruits. Now you need to take care of the wound. I add fungicide powder to the plasticine and then carefully close the wound in the bark with the plasticine. Done. The wound is protected from the water and spores of pathogenic fungi. For reliability, I carefully wrap this part of the stem with electrical tape. Done. I hope that the technique will work this season, or at least next season. Well, all I have to do is do a little pruning of the clementine and then wait for abundant harvests of the beautiful fruits of this wonderful variety, clementine or. That's all. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and together we will watch the growth and ripening of wonderful Israeli fruits.